And we are live on the Icecast Live. My name is Shane Chebsey, and next to me, as almost always, is Ollie. I am the law, McMonee. How you doing, Ollie?
I'm all right, Shane. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, been working from home today, which is
have you? You lucky bugger.
Yeah, that's still work, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's nice being able to, see the sunshine through the patio door.
Yeah.
Something at least,
Yeah, it's a nice change in the weather, and it's very welcome.
It's been a lovely day, hasn't it? Yeah, I've really. It's been a very nice day. So, what have you been up to, mate? You been busy?
Well, obviously, we've all had 2 weeks off, us teachers. It's been straight back into it. 12-hour day today, doing parents' evening with some of the bugger parents not turning up for the parents' evening online. But nearly the weekend, so I'm looking forward to it, and very close to His Highness's coronation as well.
When is that? Because I haven't taken any.
May the 6th. We're doing an anti-coronation street art high-vis takeover of a local pub, because where I live there's not a lot of monarchists around, so we're putting 2 V's up to the royal family and all the money they cost us, and just having a lot of fun with that. So there's going to be a lot of hijinks and a lot of rude cartooning, I imagine, over that weekend, all courtesy of the station pub in King's Heath.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
great stuff. Sounds good, mate. I'm just checking my phone because I remember a little bit of housekeeping I needed to do. I need to talk about a project that Steve Austin and not the Bionic Man, the other guy,
not the Bionic Man, the Bionic Teeth,
and Lawrence, my friend Lawrence Allison are doing. Now I'm looking on my phone because there was a reminder on there, and now I can't find it. So I will try. But if Steve or Lawrence are watching the show, please send us the details in the comments and we'll and I'll mention it. I'll give you a plug because I promised that I would. I think actually, yes, there he is. There he is.
Is he? Excellent. Hi, Steve.
Speak of the devil. And Les Lawrence as well. Isn't that strange?
So now they can both tell you what you're meant to be plugging, you
Let's
idiots.
know what I'm meant to be plugging, because I completely ballsed it up and forgot. So get in there, lads, and let me know. The other thing, obviously, I need to talk about is the new Hedrick book, which is Hedrick Broken Pieces, which is an all-star, guest star version of Hedrick with new
And Steve's in that as well. That's not what you were meant to plug, was it?
Well, no. It was another thing, actually. He's very prolific, this lad. Yeah. My ears are burning, he says. So, Steve's in that. We've also got Adam Jakes in there as well. And who's that other amazing artist? Oh, yeah, Damien Edwardson, my old pal. And there is another artist who we've yet to announce, which I'm going to announce after this show. So if you're interested who's going to be the other artist in Hedrick, folks, then just watch my socials after the show and I will let you know. This other artist is also doing an amazing variant cover, which I can't wait to show people. It's absolutely beautiful. So we'll be launching the Kickstarter on Saturday. So watch out for that in your inboxes. But I won't bother people with that any longer because we do have an amazing guest on tonight. And as everybody will have guessed from the ticker and from all the publicity, we are talking to Sue from the amazing Lawless event, which I did go to last year, and I had a really good time, I have to say. One of the most friendly conventions.
Very friendly.
Yeah, really good show. So I'm really glad that it's back this year in May. We're going to be talking to Sue all about it. There's loads of comments in the chat already, so we'll get onto them after the intro. Play the VT, Sam, and we'll get into it. Wrong one, Sam. And welcome back to the Icecast Live.
Hi.
And welcome, Sue. How you doing?
Hello. How you doing?
We're good. We're good. we are very good. We've had a comment already. Somebody singing your praises from Ben Cullis, Su Haddrell, one of the friendliest and bubbliest people I know. Her enthusiasm and support for British comics and comics creators knows no bounds. Written like a true sponsor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the sponsor.
Of course,
you'll have more tables this year, I promise.
Oh, but that's all it takes. I'm just going to write a comment. Yeah.
Bribery works wonders.
Because we must mention that. We must mention that the 77 are your sponsors, aren't they?
They are. They've done an amazing job. There are sponsors. There are partners in crime. They created Lawless as a comic character. They do our program. We're like that. We are now.
Oh, it's just
it's
great
job.
that you've got this like synergy with an indie comic. You know, it really does sort of. It just works so well, doesn't it? That sort of partnership with 77 and Lawless. It's very much of the same. Ideology, ilk.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good kind of friendship, partnership, relationship. It works very, very well together. So we do support each other a great deal, both in our own individual endeavors. So there's no treading on toes and getting under each other's feet. We're genuinely very supportive of our individual endeavors and projects. It's awesome.
I mean, that artwork behind you, I believe that was from
that's Stephen Austin.
Yay! He gets about this lad, doesn't he?
He does. He's a legend.
So prolific. Yeah. Prolific. Or is it pathetic? I forget. Steve, you'll have to let us know which one.
Maybe he is actually bionic. And that's how he manages to do so much work. I mean, he just does so much stuff.
Yeah.
Well, some of the artwork we got for Lawless just for the program last year was absolutely insane. It was when Lawless, Steve Bull created the character as Lawless as a character. And it just ran with it basically, and it's been great because it means previously, obviously, we have always been very 2000 AD and dread oriented, and we will always stay that. But we can't really use any of that IP and any of that imagery or anything like that. So to have our own character and to be able to have our own sort of comic book and that side of things, it's brilliant. It's something great to promote, and it's something great to get involved with. We can do something with that. We can work with it in 1,000 different ways. It gives us a lot of opportunity, which is awesome.
I see. Pathetically prolific.
He's a wordsmith as well. Well done, Steve.
I could barely read that. There were so many people.
Stay with us, Steve, because we can take the piss out of you all night long.
Yeah. Keep it.
He's
Stay there,
Steve. I'm gutted because he's not going to be at the show this year, so we can't even get him on saying, I know.
Oh, what a
curses.
Why not?
Yeah.
What could he possibly have better to do?
Family holidays, apparently. I don't know. I'm not sure we can let him off.
It's the beginning of the half-term holidays, as I know as a teacher. So I dare say he's going to be busy that week.
Yeah. Oh, that weekend generally is hugely busy. I know there's been quite a major accommodation issue because there's loads going on that same weekend. And we don't normally have too much of an issue with it. It's just for some reason the second bank holiday in May this year has been mental.
Don't even ask.
Yeah.
So I mean there's a thing, isn't it? When you get a weekend, because you obviously plan your event. I mean, I can totally sympathise with this. You plan your event well in advance. There doesn't seem to be anything else going on locally or nationally or whatever.
You got Upfest, haven't you, in Bristol?
And then suddenly, boom! All these things pop up, don't they?
I was really concerned at one point that we were going to clash with Star Wars Celebration. Because everyone was talking about it and everything. I was like, please tell me it's not on the same weekend.
Usually, I think is it May? It is in May, isn't it?
It's just gone past. They've just done it.
Yeah,
so,
they've just done it.
It was the other weekend.
Right.
I was having conversations with people, and they were getting their cosplays ready for the Star Wars Celebration. I was like, wait, what?
When's that? Let me know now.
But
I mean,
I've backseed the May bank holiday now. I've backseed, so it's always that second because I want a day off basically. So everyone comes for the weekend. I'm like, I'm having Monday off.
That's a good idea, actually. I wish I'd have thought of that when I was doing shows. That's a good one, that is. But it was a great show last year, Sue. I came along, as you know, and I sat with who did I sit with?
I didn't see you at all last year, did I? I think I saw you in passing.
You're very busy. That's what happens to when you're an organiser. Yeah. It's the same when I do my graffiti festival. You're rushing around. You're barely looking up because you're trying to make sure everyone is sorted. So I
get a bit name face blind as well. So I see so many names chatting to me on Facebook and then putting them to faces when you see them in real life. It's just like I'm sure I know you, but
I get that a lot. I do get that a lot actually as well. Yeah, it's a funny because people
ignoring you,
look.
Shane. Is that what you mean?
Well, there is that.
Yeah,
but people often don't look the way they do on Facebook, do they? All these filters now that we have these days.
This is true.
You know, there he is. There he is. That's the man I was sitting with, Lyndon Webb. You were sat with me, you forgetful tit. You're not wrong on either count there, Lyndon. And thank you for helping me with that, because he obviously last minute helped me out with the half a table I shared with him, which was, and we had a laugh. It was really good actually. And you had some great guests. But this year you've got some people coming that have not been to Lawless before, haven't you, Sue?
Yeah, we've got some news. So we do try and mix it up a little bit. So we're going to have we always have the regulars, and everybody wants to come again next year. So you have to be, we've only got about 30 slots. So it's really, really hard to just sort of filter out who comes in, not who we boot out, but who we kindly say, I'm really sorry, but we're not going to have space for you. We want to replace, get some names. But so yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing Anna Morozova, because she was due to make it last year and she couldn't at the last minute due to workload. So I'm really pleased to invite her back and have her confirmed for this year. Laura Howell as well has been on my list for ages to meet her. So I'm really pleased because we got her and Lou as well. So we got a bit of a Beano. I did try to get Nigel Parkinson, but it clashed with something else he was up to, so we couldn't get him along. But it would have been nice to have like the Beano trio.
The Beano crew, yeah. I mean, Nigel gets around, you know. What I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean that in the politest way. But almost every convention I go to, there's Nigel. It's like, I'm sure there's like 3 of him or something. I don't know how he does it.
Lou and Laura are such great ambassadors for the Beano, though. They walk and talk
comics.
You know what I mean? They are literally like characters out of the Beano. I think they are really, really great brand ambassadors. I must.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting Laura. Yeah, definitely. And it was great to have Lou at the show last year, so it was a pleasure to invite him back again this year as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, really pleased to get Dave Gibbons along this year, and Nick Maman's been to the show before, but again, getting the pair of them together is a really good thing as well. So I think we're gonna get some good signings out of those guys and some good stories. So it'll be really good to see those people too.
Absolute 2000 legends you got there.
Yeah, so it's good. And John's always welcome. He says it's his favourite show, so I'll take that. So he's always welcome to join us. I'm really looking forward to meeting Andy Diggle this year. So I'm genuinely a fan of Andy Diggle anyway, because I'm a big fan of The Losers, and I like his. He's just done the Expanse graphic, the Kickstarter
very successfully as well.
That's my guest basically. I'm there to see him, so I'm going to get all my stuff signed. But yeah, it's really good to have some new and old faces definitely along, and I think we've got some Michael Carroll's been to the show before, but again, just not been able to make it for a few years. So him and Leona, I'm really looking forward to seeing them. It's been a few years since we saw those guys too. Who else we got? Ian Edgington and Disraeli are new guests as well. And they're meant to be a really good team up together. So we're going to get them on a panel, having a good chin wagon talking. So I'm really
that'll be good.
Yeah,
they do some good panels. They did some for me at ICE.
They do, don't they?
Yeah. Really good panels. I mean, you've got some great panel guests there. I mean, are you looking at doing quite a few panel events and talks and things like that?
Yeah, so I've sent off the program for design, the panel listings for design. So and that goes in the Centre folder of the program. So that's all being designed and put together as we speak. I have not yet seen the proof, so I'm yet ready for big surprises on what they're going to put together. And that's all produced again by our sponsors at 77. So Steve Ball's in charge of doing all that. So I've sent the panel listing off for design, and then that gets sorted. And but we have about 5 a day it works out at, because we like to space it out, and there's only so many people. We've only got the one panel room, and there's only so many people you can get into a room, so we like to spread out the subject matters as well. So you're talking to the guests of honors and giving them proper time on their own, but also getting, I think we're going to do a Rogue Trooper panel, because we've got an absolute ton of Rogue Trooper artists and writers in. So a good job to get those guys together to have a good talk about Rogue Trooper. And so we're looking at about 4 or 5 a day essentially, for 5 for the Saturday and I think 4 for the Sunday. But we also we're talking to This Comic is Haunted, because obviously they've just had their successful Kickstarter, so they're going to be up having a chat.
Well done, guys.
And we're going to do, I think, a writer's panel, just how to create a script, or how do you, so aside from the comic drawing and artistry side of things, what goes into actually writing a script for a comic and that side of things. So
right, you're getting Andy Diggle in on that one.
Possibly.
He did a writers panel for us. Comics Uncovered. He was a really good contributor to that. Really,
excellent.
yeah. I mean, a really good. I mean, obviously a great writer, but also a previous editor, and he really understands the process of creating comics from scratch. You know, he's a really good guest in that respect. So, that's brilliant. Cool. So we've had some comments already. I'll just go through. From Richard Bryan. I went to Lawless for the first time last year. It was fantastic to meet the artists and writers and finally meet the legend that is Brian Bolland. Great to meet so many 2000 AD enthusiasts. It was very friendly and welcoming. There we go.
Oh, thank you, Richard.
That's a nice comment, isn't it? Yeah. What's Ben saying? I sat with Linda, my first Lawgiver, Lawless as was. Of course, it used to be called Lawgiver, didn't it?
Like the first 4 or 5 shows was Lawgiver, and then we changed it over.
And what we got here from Hal Laren. I've never been.
And you should come. Come and join us.
Yeah.
Sort out your shit, Hal. And get your ass over. Yeah, get your ass to Bristol. Get your ass to Bristol. Who else we got? Ben Cullis again. If you're free, the 77 publications have a spare creator.
Oh, is that to Hal? Is it?
I think it might be. Maybe. Yeah. Who's that to, Ben? Who are you offering work to, Ben? We like to facilitate these things. We like to facilitate these things in the middle of the show. It's great. And Alex Wiley.
All right, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
How are you?
Love Shane and Ollie.
Hope you had a good time at the mayor's event the other day.
Yes. Our friend Alex there got, well, I don't know if he won it, actually. You'll have to let me know.
He was nominated, wasn't he?
He was nominated for a mayoral award.
Oh, wow.
For his the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast, which was a local podcast here that I used to help
about
out.
Biscuits.
Well, no, actually. But, I used to help out, not on that podcast, on another podcast with Alex, and that's how we know each other. And it's actually Alex I have to thank in many ways for this show existing, because he sort of inspired me and showed me, podcasting is doable, So thanks, Alex. Nice to see you. And let us know how you got on with that award ceremony. I hope you did win, but if you didn't, being nominated for a mayoral award for something that you've created yourself is
absolutely.
So congratulations anyway on that, Alex. Ben, again, he's so chatty, isn't he? Even when he's not on the show, we can't shut him up. So John Wagner will be launching the collected Bogeyman crowdfunding during the convention.
Cool. I did not know that.
Did you not know that?
No, I did not know that. Nobody tells me nothing.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yes,
it's a scoop.
You did, yeah.
Scoop from Ben. I don't mind him talking now. That's great. That's really cool. I mean, obviously John is a regular at the show, isn't he, Sue?
Yeah, he's been there since day one, actually. I don't think we've ever had a show without him. The story being that on the first show he buggered off to the pub for 2 hours and I didn't know where he'd gone, so I was like, where's my guest of honor gone? And he disappeared with about 20 people to the pub for a pint. I was like, oh, all right then.
That's the thing that happens if you get a guest who's like really popular with the fans, because that's the thing about John. He's lovely with the fans.
I think you say really alcoholic.
No,
well,
maybe that case. But John is so good with the fans. He really is, and they love him. So if John wanders off to the pub, you can guarantee he's going to take half your convention.
Yeah. The Pied Piper of Bristol.
Yeah. So I think you need to put an order in, Sue. Like nobody's allowed to leave the convention with fans.
Don't think I get much choice. It's like herding cats. I mean, you know what it's like organising a convention, to be fair.
Yeah, but you do a great job of it. I mean, I remember watching you run around like a nutter, herding all those cats, and I was very impressed how you sort of kept your cool. You always had a friendly, a big smile on your face, even when I could see that it was like she's working really hard right now, but you always delivered.
Well, last year was our first weekender as well, and it was our first show back after a 2-year break. So it'd been a good couple of years since I'd done a show, and it was our first weekender, because previously it's always been for one day. So that first kind of few hours before midday, just like that even that first hour of just everyone queuing up and waiting to get in and sorting out tickets and setting up and organising where everybody was. Yeah, that was intense. It was really intense. And then the Sunday was beautiful. Just like I properly chilled out the Sunday. I was like, yeah, I got this. I know what I'm doing. We're cool. It's all good. So I'm hoping it's going to be a bit more like this year, where I'm not going to be so quite pulling my hair out a little bit and a little bit less stressed. But I've got an idea of what I'm doing now. So
well, that's the thing. The more you do it, supposedly the easier it gets. That never happened for us, did it? We used to find new problems every year somehow, but
it's definitely got a bit of a rhythm to it now. It's definitely
you do find, don't you, certain solutions to logistical problems and things like that. But once you find them, that's it. You just apply them every year, and it just gets it does get easier and easier. And you've got that same venue, you know, which is a great venue with lots of comic convention history attached to it.
It does,
and you've obviously got a good relationship with that venue.
Yeah, we've been. So the reason I know them is because I go to a writers convention in October called Bristol Con that was held there. So I was going to there before I even started doing Lawless and anything. And they put me in touch with the hotel and did us a deal on the rooms and stuff like that. And it just ran with it from there. And they've always been amazing. They're so helpful. They on the day, just everything's sorted and the tea and coffee comes flowing all the time, and they've got the tables we need, and they do an absolutely stunning job. Yeah, the bar's always stocked, and they know exactly what we need, and they're right there for it. It's really, really cool.
Oh, that's good. It's always good to have enough booze behind the bar. That's very important.
Definitely.
I remember in the old days,
I might actually stay up this year.
I will see. I'll come and see you at midnight on a Saturday and see how you're getting on. So more comments coming in. How Laren, I might have to gate crash. Woo woo. Well, you've just told her.
Don't know about that.
She's gonna be watching out for you.
You gotta go through me.
Oh, it looks like it was Hal that Ben. I was offering some work too. So, me. Yes, it's great, isn't it? I love
whole conversation's going on now.
yeah. That's what it's all about. Ed Doyle, hi Sue. Looking forward to meeting everyone at Lawless and launching with Alan the Bolt 01 annual.
That looks amazing. Have you seen that? I've just blown away by the attention to detail on that. It looks gorgeous. It's a proper old-fashioned hardback annual. It just looks brilliant. I'm so impressed.
Yeah,
and I love that cheeky chappy Dave picture on all the pages as well. He's got that little grin. It's just like that's just Dave to an absolute T.
It's a really nice portrait of him actually on the cover.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I know Dave's son Ginger Dan very well because he's segued into graffiti art. So he's come a long way. A lot of his graffiti does feature a lot of sort of bizarre cartoon-like characters. He's very careful to sort of create his own characters rather than use IP. But it's nice to know that the apple hasn't fallen too far from the tree. And I know Dan knows very much about the Bolt 1 annual, and he's looking forward to it as well. So I thought I'd throw that in as well because it's interesting how small the world can be sometimes.
Definitely, yeah.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, so many good memories of Dave. Though he was always there, at the shows, and so supportive of every.
We did our program every year, so he was the guy that did our program every year. So we literally only saw each other about once a year, but we'd email back and forth for ages because he'd do like the Zarjazz and Dog Breath themed kind of program for us. So he had permission to use old Dread comics and stuff to go in the program, and then we'd have a full printed one. And it was he did a stunning job on it, and it was such a lovely chap to deal with. And just seeing him at the show every year with a big grin on his face, he's missed, really missed.
Very much so, very much so. So another big part of your event this year, Sue, is the Steve Dillon exhibition, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm really
very
excited.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exciting.
Yeah, so this came about because we did the Carlos Square exhibition after he passed, and we did the tribute, and that was at John's request, and he managed to bring along some art. So we did a full exhibit there, which was really, really successful, and it looked gorgeous. It looked really nice. And then last year, Graham Bleethman came along, and he bought all his Thunderbirds cutouts, and they were all displayed up and everything. So that room that we have, I know it's sort of a bit out of the way and down the end there, but it's a really nice room to do that kind of thing in. It's a bit too small to do panels and stuff in, but it works very nicely as a kind of a really nice small exhibition area. Tara mentioned I saw the post up about the Steve Dillon exhibition that they were going to expand it out of London, and what do they want to do, and just messaged Tanya and was just like, we want in, do you want to come and show at Lawless? And she was like, I've been meaning to get hold of you because we were going to come and see it to your show. So yeah, that's how it came about. Is both of us wanted to see each other, and yeah, and I'm, you know, Steve Dillon, I'm a Tank Girl fan, so that's my he used to do Deadline magazine with Jamie Hewlett and all that side of things. So I think there's going to be quite a lot of Preacher and 2000 AD kind of theme stuff there, but it'd be very interesting to see what original art is that's sort of kind of unseen or previously unseen. And I'm kind of hoping some of the family members are available as well. It'd be nice if we can get some of the family along and meet them as well, which would be lovely.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people, you know, forget, don't they? Because he was so prolific. He did all sorts of stuff. I remember I loved all his Punisher stuff as well.
Yeah.
I remember buying all that. Even Wolverine. You know, people think of him as 2000 AD, but he did a lot of stuff for Marvel. And he was such a consistent artist and a great storyteller. But to be able to see the original work, you know, there we are. There's the ad for it.
There we go.
To see the original stuff, you know,
and really up close and personal as well. It's not like lit away in a big open museum somewhere and you can only spend 5 seconds looking at it. It's right there for you, and you can take pictures and spend time with it. And I like that. And you can spend time talking to the family about it as well, because they're willing to have a chat. And I really like that kind of closeness of it.
You know, everyone who knew Steve, because I didn't really know Steve. I met him once at a convention.
No, I'd never met him at all.
Found him to be a lovely guy. I will say that when I met him. But obviously, people who knew him really well, you know, everyone says what a lovely, lovely guy he was. What a huge sort of personality, and what a massive loss it was, you know, when he went. So it's really great to have this, you know, as an ongoing thing, really, and for you guys to host it. It's fantastic. It's the perfect venue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely a perfect venue for it. Definitely, yeah. I think going forward, it's definitely going to be something that we continue to do as some kind of exhibition or something. We might be working with the London Comic Museum or something like that and getting them along next year. And maybe we can have the Steve Dillon exhibition back another year or something. If they've got a different collection of works that they want to display or anything like that, we could do it all over again for those that didn't come the first time. So yeah, there's definite scope to do stuff like that.
I think it's a great idea, because I think people start to look forward to it if you do it every year. And, you know, which artist is it going to be this year? You know, and there's so many great artists out there with, you know, let's face it, we're talking about people who mostly draw traditionally, so have original art, you know, from 2000 AD and most of the
somebody mentioned recently about doing an Ian Gibson one, actually, because he's got a whole ton of stuff, and he's launching new stuff as well through the 77 and all that. And I was like, oh, that's not a bad idea, actually.
That'd be great. I'd love
to see. It'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, some Ian Gibson originals. Well, another one of those. I mean, the thing about 2000 AD, every artist had such a unique style of their own. They were so distinctive, especially in that era. You know, you got people like Ian Gibson, Mick McMahon, you know, Dave Gibbons. They're unmistakable. You know, they're so unmistakable. Well, we've got some more comments. Steve Austin, absolutely gutted to be missing the Steve Dillon exhibition. I don't usually get the chance to check out the exhibits, but would have sacrificed a sketch for this one.
Oh,
cancel your holiday, Steve. You know you want.
Yeah, you don't need holidays. You can go another week. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you can have a holiday anytime, but Steve Dillon exhibition, come on, mate. Get your priorities right. I still remember my first Bix. Oh, thank you, pal.
Oh, wow.
I still remember my first Bix as well. 2006. 2006 in the custard factory. But yes, thanks, Hal.
God, yeah, I remember it was in the I remember it being in the custard factory.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now. We got Steve Austin. Stop. Sob. Hey, it's your fault, mate.
Sorry, Steve.
I got no sympathy. And I don't know why Hal's saying me. So there you go. That's the end of the comments. We caught up on the comments. Thank you, guys. So one important question. What is the easiest way to buy tickets for people now? Because obviously people are watching this. They're saying, this looks like a great show. How do they go about buying their tickets for the show? And what options are there?
Yeah, nice and simple. We go onto the Lawless website. So you can Google Lawless Comic Con and it comes straight up, or it's just www.lawlesscomiccon.co.uk. Front page, scroll down, click on buy tickets here. Nice and easy. We've still got a few trader tables left available for the Sunday. So if anybody's got any small press or merchandise or things they like, crafty bits they don't want to sell, we've got a few trader tables there for Sunday. We are all booked up for weekend and Saturday trader tables, but we do have some availability. There are day tickets available for Saturday and day for Sunday, or you could have a weekender ticket. There you go. So we've still got plenty to go, and we're about, I think we're just under a month or just over a month to the show. And we do have room deals at the DoubleTree, although I'm not sure how many rooms they've got left. So if you click on the link for the room deal at the DoubleTree, it will probably only show you what they have available. But they have done us a little bit of a deal if you want to stay at the DoubleTree.
That's good.
We don't sell tickets on the door, so you need to get your tickets in advance, but tickets will be available up until like the Friday of the show, so you can get them quite last minute. But yeah, we don't do tickets on the sales on the door anymore. But yeah, you'll come and grab them while you can.
Yeah, that's that's an interesting way of doing it, not having sales on the door. Is that because you always sell out beforehand, or is it just a logistical thing?
No, pretty much. We've historically always just sold out to our maximum that we can have or that we want to have. If we're gonna expand how many tickets that we have available, then there's the potential we could sell some on the door. But just logistically, it does make an awful lot easier to do it all in advance, and then I've got who's coming and the names on the list, and you coming in kind of thing. So logistically, it does make it a lot easier.
Definitely makes it much easier. And there we are. There's the full guest list there.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
It's incredibly impressive. And what I love about it, because obviously this is a show celebrating British comics, that you have all British guests there, pretty much. I think there might be
just about. I
think they are. Obviously, there's a couple of people who aren't originally from Britain, maybe, but at the end of the day, they're working in British comics. And
to be honest, I'm not going to ask for their passports.
Yeah,
I'm not that strict on it.
Well, yeah. I think at the end of the day, they're working in British comics, aren't they? So it doesn't matter. But it's just incredible that you can have such a high quality list from this little island. With it's something to really celebrate, isn't it? British comics.
Absolutely. It's so hard choosing the names every year as well, because I do put a shout out just going, who do you want to see at the show each year? So I get like 300 names, and I'm definitely not an encyclopedia of comics, so a lot of them are literally just names to me that I have to go and research and find out and stuff. And obviously, we do try and swap and change and keep the old friends in and swap a few of them out or invite them back again for their second year and stuff like that. So just the amount of talent that's out there. I mean, you look at Thought Bubble and I know all those invites have gone out this year. The amount of talent that's out there to pick from and whittle down is astounding. Yeah, there's so much out there that's amazing.
It's very easy, isn't it, to get caught up in it? And I remember like one show that we did, there were like 55 guests or something crazy like that. It's just like, because you don't want to say no to people.
No, I really don't. It's just like, hey.
It must be really hard to make those decisions sometimes.
It can be, yeah. And it's the horrible message afterwards. I'm really sorry, but I can't invite you this year because I need to swap you out with somebody else.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I always find that people understand,
Yeah, I say that, but generally, I've always said to our guests, they're welcome to join us anyway. They won't have a table, but if they want to come and say hello to their mates, I'm not going to send them away at the door because it's a social event. They're there to see each other as much as their fans. So yeah, it just means they're not going to have a table to sell them.
Well, that was interesting about Brian Boland, because I know when Leonard did his panel, one of the first questions was, why do conventions after a long time away? And like you say, Sue, it was because he wanted to get out there. He wanted to catch up with his friends. And I think that I know that's a big part of comic conventions anyway, but what I did love, and I was first time Virgin last year myself, what I enjoyed was, because you limit the ticket numbers, and I was there on the Sunday, so I can't comment on the Saturday, but it was a very friendly camaraderie show. You were able to talk to the artists without feeling you were rushing them, or they felt they were rushing you because there was a big queue behind you. It was even queuing up for Brian Boland. People are having a great time, and I never queue up, but for Brian Boland, I'll make the exception. But I was blown away by, like you say, the friendliness. The DoubleTree is a great venue. I found it very easy to get to, and I came by car. It helped me, the fact there was a big graffiti festival on Upfest, but that's not on this year, because last year there was no way I was going to get a hotel. But you've got something very special there, Sue. And I think if there's people who've never been before, who might be sitting on the fence about, I can only go to one convention this year, I definitely recommend yours, Sue. It's a lovely city anyway. Mine was a very rushed visit, but I relaxed the minute I got in there. Do you know what I mean?
Good. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
And it was just great.
It was...
I mean, I know you were rushing around. No one else seemed to be, which was good. Which was really
no, it
good.
is a really, really chilled event. The Sunday was definitely...
Yeah.
I mean, I was there on the Sunday as well, and I just found it really good. Yeah, because we saw each other, didn't we? And it was just, you had plenty of time to talk to the guests, which is really nice. You know, I mean, that's something I always felt was important for shows, to not have like the conveyor belt thing. And you definitely didn't have that. You know, it was a really nice, relaxed atmosphere. You were able to chat with people at your leisure, you know, and like Ollie said, with it being ticketed, it does have that sort of community feel, and I don't think it's like in a negative way either, you know, because some people might think, oh, does that make it a clique? But you know, there's people there that I'd never met in my life, but we have something in common. You know, you have something in common with everybody there, and that is
somehow we've managed to avoid the click so far, and I'm very eager to keep it that way. But it's a big thing that new people are welcome. No one's kind of turned away. Be excellent to each other. That's why you're there to enjoy the show. Creators are there to hang out with each other as well as the fans, and I like that kind of mixing of the two. That there's bark on at the end of it, so you end up having I saw 3 people sat with a pint with Brian Bolland at the end of the evening, and he was so shy at the beginning of the day. By the end of the evening, that he was having pints with 3 random people he'd never met before. That was amazing. That's what it's there for. Absolutely.
It's what it's all about, isn't it, Sue?
Yeah, it really is. That's why specifically why I do it, is that whole just camaraderie of bringing everyone together for the same reason, to have a really nice couple of days together and see everybody. And also it's a big catch up for a lot of people. It's the only time a lot of online friends see each other. And it was always about that. I think when it very first started and we were doing sort of small events, it was just that idea of people who only see each other online. Let's get them together in a single place to have a drink and say hi to each other, kind of thing. The Sunday is definitely a lot quieter. It's going to be a lot quieter this year. But it was kind of the reason for making it the weekend, because there was definitely the hardcore lot who are going to stay overnight anyway. So bugger it, let's roll it over for another day. It's not going to do us any harm, kind of thing. So it just means that you can do everything over the 2 days. There's no rush. If you don't get to speak to one guy one day, come back tomorrow, he'll still be there, and you can have a proper chinwag.
Yeah, I mean that is the beauty of it, and you know, I'm so tempted to do the 2 days. I mean, I remember when I did the Sunday, I really felt like I'd missed something on the Saturday. You know, I just had an impression that that Saturday was something special. You know, but yeah, maybe this year I'll be able to do both. It all depends on those hotels, you know. I mean, Bristol.
Yeah, the hotels I think are going to be the issue for everybody.
Yeah, so
but because Upfest isn't on this year, and that I know that's the biggest European festival, because it's not on this year, people may get lucky on the hotel front as long as they're looking now.
I think it's where the prices have gone up quite a lot. They are expensive this year, so a lot of people have just been struggling with. They could do one night, but they want to do the 2 nights because they want to make a weekend of it, and that's pushing the price up an awful lot. So there's definitely financial concerns, I think, this year, which is unfortunately not a lot I can do about personally. I mean,
an Airbnb is a possibility, isn't it? Because there's quite a few in Bristol. There are ways you can
20 judges rocking up to an Airbnb. Yep, that'll go down.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
It'd be amazing.
I mean, are you expecting a good turnout on the cosplay front with the judges?
I don't know. It definitely it dipped last year. I think there's definitely not as many judges as there used to be. I remember one of the first years, 3rd or 4th year we did it, we had like 50 judges, and it was amazing. There was videos of people just doing the whole the Beatles crossing the road with just a river of judges crossing the road. It was amazing. And we had some massive group photos. So we had some really, really good big group photos doing that. But the amount of people coming to the show has increased. So doing a group photo isn't just logistically viable any longer. And I think a lot of costumes have been sold. So it's not, they're not costuming. Right. Obviously, a lot of people have aged a few years now since we started doing it. So they're not quite into the scene as much as they used to be. But there's still, I love a costume. We've had some really good 2000 AD theme. Did you see the Synthetic Man costume that went up a couple of years back? Somebody did a really amazing Synthetic Man, like the full waiter with a the full waiter with a the spaghetti and everything. I'll try and find a picture of it because it was
please do.
Some of the amazing 2000 AD costumes are just stunning.
That sounds fantastic. We've got more comments. Let's have a look. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong section. Where are we, Steve Ball? I don't know what that means. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Elaborate, Steve. I think it's saying hello, maybe.
I think it's a high five.
Is it? Right. I'm not down with the kids, man. I don't know what these emojis mean. Talking of age, Richard again. I'm 50. It is ridiculous that I'm so excited to see Mick McMahon. No, it's not ridiculous, mate. I remember the first time I met Mick McMahon. He came as my guest to Bix 2007, and he just walked in so unassuming. You know, he's a very modest chap, and tried to buy a ticket. I'll never forget it. It's like. And I remember the guy at the front, or the girl at the front, I can't remember who it was now, saying, oh, what's your name? And I just happened to be standing there, sort of like helping out at the queue. And he said, it's Mick. It's Mick McMahon. And I walked to it. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. You're a guest. Oh, right. Okay.
Duh.
Yeah. He's such a lovely guy. Honestly, Richard, when you meet him, you know, you'll be very happy because he's a very nice guy. How Bunkies. He's trying to get a room with me now. He's trying to get a room with me. Yeah, share room. Yeah, there's worse people. Yeah, there's worse people I could share a bunk with.
I think what we need to do next event, we need to just hire a hall and a bunch of bunk beds, and that's the room for the night.
Yeah. That's a damn good. A big dorm. A big lawless dorm. Yeah. Oh God, you're asking for trouble there. You're just asking for trouble. Like an all-nighter. There'd be a bar at the one end.
Oh my God. Well, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of them there's about 40 of them staying at the Novotel this year. They've pretty much just done a massive group booking at the Novotel this year. Novotel, I'm going to know what's hit them because they're all the cosplayers. They're all the guys that have been there since day one, and they're all the drinkers. And they're a rude bunch of bastards as well. So there's going to be some naughty shit flying.
The Novotel. Oh man, they're not going to be ready. I mean, I remember using the Novotel once. I think I stayed there once for the old Bristol con, you know, and it was never like the first choice for most people. Most people used to stay, you know, at the Ramada as it was then, you know. But they were never prepared at the Novotel for the drinking, you know.
They don't know what's going to hit them this year.
Oh no! I hope somebody's warned them. That's all, you know.
Thanks,
Steve.
Fun that
way. How sleepless instead of lawless.
Sleepless in Bristol.
There you go. A new convention. Stay overnight in Bristol with a load of judges and drink lots of booze. That sounds like a lot of fun. So we are approaching the end of the show. It always does, Sue. It always does. You know, especially when we get lots of comments like this, it just flies. You know, we have a bit of a laugh. But anything else that before we do end the show, that you would like to tell our viewers about that's coming up at Lawless that we haven't already spoken about?
The only other thing we mentioned is the Noble Bolter 1 award, we were talking about Dave Evans earlier, but it's all sort of been arranged and sorted now, but I just wanted to sort of let everybody know every year we do a thing called the Noble Bolter 1 award, which is in memory of Colin Noble and Dave Evans, the pair of them, because they had such an influence on comics and our community, like directly for people. We knew them, they were part of our community. And so I wanted to do something sort of in their memory. And what we did was we do an award whereby if you know somebody who's always wanted to come to the show, but for whatever reason can't make it, and it doesn't matter what that reason is, whether it's funds or health or whatever it is, but they've always wanted
holidays.
To yeah, exactly. Holidays. Then nominate that person, and we'll receive all your nominations for the people that you want to give the award to, and we'll pick one of those people, and we'll give them we'll arrange transport, accommodation, and a ticket to the show to come to join us for the weekend. And this year's winner was a chap called Tim Boxall, who's got MS. He's based down south, and he was nominated by about 3 or 4 people. He does a ton of stuff for charity, and he does a load of cosplay stuff as well for charity. So he's coming on all his gear and his costume and everything with his wheelchair. So that's our Noble Bolter 1 Awards winner this year is Tim Boxall. So I'm really looking forward to meeting him.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Tim online. I mean, I don't think I've met him in person, but we've chatted online, and I'm aware of his, his issues with mobility, and that's a lovely thing. That's a lovely thing to do, to give someone that opportunity. I think that's a great idea, Sue.
It's not often we can do something as a once a conventions in their essence, they're either successful or they're not, and we've finally got to the point of where ours is officially, like, we can call it successful, and it's a way of doing something. We do try and do a charity. We're supporting the Samaritans this year with our tombolas and our raffles on the day, but just as something specifically for the community, that kind of nomination to pay for someone to come to the show and give them a ticket and sort their transport and accommodation, it just felt a lot more personal, that we can do something for somebody that somebody knows. And that's what I wanted to do. So I'm really pleased that we're able to do that now.
Oh, it's fantastic. Do you know what, Sue? I hope this show never changes. I hope it never turns into a massive corporate show. Because
hell no.
I don't think it will somehow, because what you're doing, what you have, is something really nice and special.
Thank you.
Lawless, and I hope it continues that way forever.
All the time. It's gonna go on forever.
So I will just wrap up by saying thank you so much for coming on.
You're very welcome. It's been lovely chatting to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to going to the show. Whether it's one day or 2 days,
everyone buy tickets. Come to the show.
But if you're watching and you're undecided, book your tickets. You must.
Yeah. If you love 2000 AD in British comics, and that's another thing with comic conventions, and I love comic conventions, but everyone's got their favourite characters, everyone's got their favourite publishers. But the thing with Lawless is everyone's there. It reminded me of the 2000 AD 40th anniversary. Everyone's there because they've got the one thing in common. It's not just comics, it's 2000 AD. And I think that speaks volumes as well. You meet people the minute you're through the door, you're mates with them within minutes, because you have got that commonality. It's bloody brilliant.
It's fantastic. So I will see you in. I was going to say I will see you in May, but you'll
see you in hell.
So I'll see you in Bristol soon in May. There we go.
Everyone in May in Bristol for Lawless. Thank you ever so much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sue. Have a great
night.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.